What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3 Episode 10. We're at the season finale. So, here's where we get started. Tariq has woken up in the hospital room. His mama is missing. Of course, he immediately assumes that Tommy has her, and now he has to get on the mission and go handle it. He hooks up with Braden. Braden gives him a little piece. He breaks out of the hospital, and he is on his merry little way. Now, while this is going on, Monet has gone down to Noma to basically say, listen, I'm your answer. You got, you know, your operation on Wall Street is shut down. Your operation at the college is shut down. I opened up the streets because I got rid of the Russians and I got rid of the Castillos. I'm your play. And of course, Noma's little right-hand man was like, well, what about your kids? Your kids not even messing with you right now. You don't have no team. She was like, I'll get them in line. Like, money talks at the end of the day. They'll be all right. So Noma is like, well, why didn't I know about any of this? And he said, well, you know, I was assured that it would be cleared up. I didn't want to bother you. So Noma ends up slashing him across his face, you know. And he was like, you know, something, I guess he was like, I thought you trusted me. And she was like, oh, I trusted you because if I didn't, you'd be dead. Okay? Then she asked Monet about the engagement ring. And Monet was like, I don't care nothing about that. Like, if you want the ring, you can have the ring. She said, well, what about Mecca? Do you know anything about Mecca? What happened to Mecca? Did you have anything to do with it? And, of course, Monet lied and said no, child. So Monet is now in bed with Noma. They got product from the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling, child. I don't know what she thinks she's going to do with it. But neither here nor there. Then we had Tariq showing up at Tommy's mama's house. Now, I guess I have to, I think I said something in the last review I need to kind of apologize a little bit about. I said something about the addresses. So, somebody dressed up as Monet. We found out later it was, that it was Diana. But child, y'all know that. I'll get back to that in a minute. But she thought it was Monet that showed up at her house with this letter from the lawyer, basically saying, and to say give it to Tommy. And that's how she got it to Tommy. And so he was like, look, well, if you could get a letter to Tommy, if you could get a message to Tommy, then you get this message to Tommy. Let him know I'm looking for him. Let him know he need to come and see me. Listen, I'm not gonna get into all the logistics of who had what letter and what address was in what letter, but all I know is I still don't understand how Saxe had all of this information. Like, I just don't understand it. He knew where the Tommy's mama was. It was a lot for Saxe to have, but okay, we're going along with it. It's the season finale, child. We're going to handle it. We're just going to handle it, okay? Now, down to the police station, they still working on this whole Rico situation, and they know that pretty much their last hope is Lauren's testimony against Effie. Effie isn't saying anything. Effie hasn't broken. She still don't have no damn attorney, but she's not talking, and they're going to try to flip Effie, and they know that is pretty much the only play that they have at this point. So they're prepping Lauren, and Lauren found out about Saxe, and of course she's even more afraid. She was like, wait a minute, I was talking to Saxe and he's dead. Did that have something to do with Tariq? And of course they were like, of course it was. You know, they're still, you know, they're still telling Lauren that Tariq is the mastermind of this whole situation, this whole operation. So Monet, I'm sorry, y'all. So Monet calls a staff meeting, child, to let them know that they have restructured the business and she is now the CEO and they all work for her. Okay. Of course, she lets Tariq and Braden know, aka Beavis and Butthead, that not only do they owe Noma money, but they owe her the money from the money that she put into the Wall Street situation that she can't get back. Okay. Then she pulls Tariq aside. Now, Diana don't show up. Diana is not answering Monet's phone calls. Now, Diana shows up. Monet pulls Tariq aside, and she was like, why you tell my kids that I killed Lorenzo? And he was like, why would I tell them that? And she was like, you know, she said, well, how would, you know, I know you figured out that GTG didn't do it, and you know, you smart enough to figure out the rest. Well, then, Monet, if a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid can figure out your plan, what made you think that your kids put their brains together couldn't figure out the plan? But okay, whatever. Somehow so Tariq was like, oh, that's why you sent Tommy after my mother. And she was like, what are you talking about? I didn't have nothing to do with that. So everybody is getting played in this scenario. Nobody trusts anybody in this scenario. Tariq decides he gonna follow Monet when they leave the little spot. And who come rolling up on him is Tommy. So him and Tommy are in the middle of the street pointing guns at each other. And Tommy is like, listen, let me explain something to you. First of all, put your damn gun down. Like, you ain't gonna shoot me. Put your gun down. He was like, where's my mother? He said, I don't know where your mother is. He said, well, you know, when I don't know what happened, but I know when I got passed out, my mama was there, and now I woke up at the hospital, she wasn't. Tommy said, listen, your mama saved your life because your mother knocked you out. And while you was laid out cold on the floor, me and your mama made peace. We talked it out, and we good now. So I don't know where your mother is, but I don't have her. Okay? And he said, and honestly, right now we're good. And they gave us this whole flashback scene with Tommy and Tasha making up. Yeah. I don't know what that means for season 2 of Force. I don't know if Tasha's going to make a cameo there, if they're going to somehow link up. I don't know. Now, if I was in the writing room, hey, writers, excuse me, writers, I had a lot of great ideas. Call me, okay? Hit me up. I have a lot of great ideas that I think will work for season, what are we going into, season 4? But neither here nor there. Tasha vanished on her own, and she is alive. Everything is cool. And Tommy tells Tariq, listen, you don't have an army, you can't start this war. Like, I know you want to, you know, kill, you want to kill Monet, but you're not in a position to do that. Now, let me say this. Now, this is one thing. Writers, I'm going to give y'all this one for free. Now, if you take it, I need credit. I need some money. But I'm giving y'all this one for free. There's no way in the world that y'all are going to convince me that Monet and the Tejadas were moving in Queens at the same time that Ghost and Tommy was moving in Queens, and they didn't know each other. I feel like Tommy knows who Monet is, and Tommy is very familiar with Monet. So next season, I need y'all to give me some flashbacks. I need some flashback scenes and give us a backstory on how Tommy knows Monet. Same thing with Tasha. Tasha was a little too familiar, calling her Monet, knowing who she was. I feel like there's got to be a story there. I just feel like there's got to be some sort of flashback there. I don't know. Now, Tate, who we really don't care about, he. Tate won his election. Everything, well, I think he won the primary, which they said basically is a guarantee. And then he proposes to Parker, and they're going to get married and live happily ever after. Now, honestly, I know they told us that they weren't doing the spinoff for Tate anymore, but I almost felt like that was the moment that we were getting our spinoff. Like, they were giving us the foundation for the spinoff. Like, Tate wins the election, him and Parker are going to get married, and basically Parker is going to be his, you know, good angel on his shoulder while he out here doing all this criminal shit, and they was going to do this back and forth thing. But that ain't how the episode ended, so I don't know why we care about Tate. I don't know what they're giving us about Tate. And honestly, if Tate went off to Congress and we never saw him again, I would be okay with that. So then we see the kids, the Tejada kids, they can't agree, child. They arguing over what Monet did or didn't do. And, okay, you know, they want to sit around and talk about all the horrible things that Monet has done to them. And Kane tells them, listen, I need y'all to just stop and figure out what it is that we are. We are drug dealers. We come from a family of drug dealers. That is all we know. That is all we have ever known. That is how we grew up. Like, you know, he was like, Diana, you are not going to ride off and be a sorority girl. Drew, you're not going to fall in love with your Prince Charming. You need to man up. You need to girl up, whatever. And we all need to understand what our role is in this situation. Okay? Okay. Now, down to the Weston's house. Braden is basically telling the Westons the same. He's telling them the same thing, but just in a Weston kind of way. You know, the uncle is dead, and he was like, why are we sitting here acting like we mourning him? Like, he's the reason why we ended all this trouble that we in to begin with. Now, we find out later on that somehow they found a way to convince the FCC that the uncle acted alone. Nobody else knew anything, and everything died when the uncle died, which is bullshit. That's not how it works. That's not how the FCC works. And even if by some chance they believe that that's really what happened, number one, they still gonna hold the firm accountable until that money is either found or that money is replaced to the investors. And the father is still gonna be held accountable because he was the head of the company and it all happened on his watch. So that's still not how that happens. If we get into season 4 and they act like everything is all good down at Western Holdings again, and that it just because the uncle mysteriously died, that all of a sudden now it's gonna be over with, that's stupid. Now, they're making it seem like it was a suicide because the uncle was so, I guess, distraught over getting caught about stealing all the money. Now, Monet and Kane roll up on them and say, listen, Y'all might owe a whole lot of people money, but we gonna be at the top of the list. Y'all owe us our money, and we gonna get it one way or the other. Either we gonna take it on the front or we gonna take it on the back. So they steal like some jewelry, they steal some paintings, and they tell them this will be a nice down payment on what you owe us. Now I don't remember how much Lorenzo's life insurance policy was worth. I don't remember what it was. Maybe, what was it, like $1 million? So put in the chat. Somebody remember. I don't remember how much it was, but I just find that to be very interesting. You know, that they still, child, get them people that money. So they leave y'all alone. Now, Monet wants Effie gone, and she's telling Kane that he need to handle it. Now, I don't know what she expects Kane to do from outside of the jail when Effie is inside the jail. But she also told Tariq the same thing, that basically the only reason why Tariq is alive is to handle, you know, his women, well, bitches to be exact, Lauren and Effie. She also wants to know what's going on with Drew and with Diana, and Kane is like, listen, they still mad about the fact that you killed their daddy. Now, me, I'm kind of over it, but they still mad about it. And so at the end of the day, I think they out. Monet gonna say, oh no, that don't work for me. Girl, what you mean it don't work for you? They don't want to be a part of your situation. She talking about some, oh, well, we gonna have to, he said, you're going to have to work your magic. So she said she would handle it. She said she would handle Effie. So what ends up happening is she gets the guard to try to take Effie out. You know, to set up trying to take Effie out. Somebody sent her a burner cell phone and told her Monet was coming to get her. So she was ready when the woman showed up. And basically she did a good job of fighting the lady off, and the guard talking about something, oh, you tougher than you look, I'm gonna have to try harder next time. I said, well, I guess Kane got somebody on the inside just like Monet got somebody on the inside, because damn, y'all just working against each other. But anyway, and it couldn't only been Kane, because Kane the only one that knew Monet was coming, right? I guess, I don't know. So then we see Tariq meeting up with Davis, and they basically just talking about what's going on and how fucked they all are. At the end of the day, Tariq knows that he needs to, so here's where all the scheming really starts picking up. Okay, see if y'all can follow me. So Tariq meets up with Davis for them to talk about what they need to do. Now, Davis is like, basically, he on the same thing that Monet is on. He's basically like, the women got to go. Lauren can screw us. Effie can screw us. Lauren can really screw me because they trying to come for me. And if she testified, they're going to try to act like that I was a part of the conspiracy. So for the most part, they all got to go. And Tariq was like, whoa, Davis, what you want? Like, hold on, player. Like, whoa, wait a minute. And he was like, well, do you have a better idea? So he was like, well, we got to make sure that Lauren doesn't testify. He said, well, what, you know, Davis was like, well, what's his incentive? Tariq says, she has to feel more in danger testifying than not testifying. He said, yeah, I heard her parents came back in town. Okay. So then Tariq doubles back to, he goes to see Effie. And basically, listen, Tariq could have alleviated all, well, not all, but a lot of his problems that he ran into this episode if he had just played nice with Effie. Okay. You know, play footsies with her under the table or something. But basically, he's basically laying it out to her why he needs to, why she doesn't need to flip on him. And she's still sticking to the fact that her attorney gonna come and get her out, and that it's her mess, and he don't need her. She gonna bail herself out with her money, and she don't need to deal with him. And he tells her, well, look, I need the picture of Noma's daughter for leverage against Noma to get Noma off our back. So then she says, well, listen, I got the picture. I already did the research. I know exactly who her daughter is and where her daughter is. But I tell you what, I'm not giving you nothing as long as I'm sitting here. So you get me out of here, and I'll give you what you need. Okay? Okay. So then Tariq goes to Kane and Braden, Drew, whoever, and says that basically we need to threaten Lauren's parents and scare them into thinking that they're in danger if Lauren testifies. And I can use that as leverage. So Tariq calls Lauren and gets Lauren to meet him at the park so that he can show pictures. He just wants to show pictures of Lauren's, that let them know that Lauren's parents are in town, right? Just want to threaten her a little bit. But of course, Kane does what Kane wants to do. Kane doesn't play by anybody's rules but Kane's. So Kane shows up at the meeting at the park, which of course now Lauren, because she did bring a knife, she wasn't 100% stupid. She brought a knife, and now she's like, oh my gosh, you set me up. Tariq is like, what are you doing here? Kane was like, listen, I don't take orders from Tariq. Okay, Lauren? So what you need to understand is, you can't listen to nothing Tariq is telling you because he can't control me. I'm telling you that if you testify, your parents ain't gonna make it. Okay? That's what it is. Those are the rules. So Lauren says, well, listen, I'm not gonna believe nothing that you say until I talk to Effie. I need to talk to Effie myself because I don't believe none of y'all asses. So she manipulates Jenny into letting her talk to Effie so that about testifying. Jenny is like, I don't know about this. You know, I'm already got a whole lot going on. I don't know how I can, I don't know how I can slide this in and work this through. But okay. She gets to see Effie, and Effie is like, girl, what you doing here? And she tries to manipulate Effie like, oh, I won the prize. Tariq really been talking to me. Tariq really loved me. And Effie was like, girl, what you not understanding is that I don't even care about none of that. Like, I don't give about none of that. Okay, that's not what none of this is about. At the end of the day, you don't need to testify. It's in everybody's best interest. You can go and you can get your life back. I get out of here, I can get my life back. And for real, if you want Tariq, child, you can have him. Like, at the end of the day, this is our business. Like, you never belonged in our business. And she really, in my opinion, she really pissed Lauren off. But I feel like Lauren heard what she had to say and understood. She's actually really telling the truth about, ultimately, this just needs to be over. Like, if I testify, this is just going to keep being a thing. And Tariq don't really give a damn about either one of us. Like, neither one of us won no damn prize in this whole scenario, right? Now, while all of this maneuvering is going down, Davis goes to visit Tate to get Tate to pull some strings to get the DA to drop the charges against Diana. Now, Tate, of course, they had their whole little back and forth. They got to see who's, what is bigger. But basically, Tate was like, I tell you what, I think I can handle that, for a large donation to my campaign. Well, unbeknownst to him, Harper is listening to the conversation. So Harper walks off in a huff, like basically it's over, the relationship is over. Somebody, a reporter wanted to do an interview with her and found out, and she told him, like, ain't no need in doing the interview, because they were like, oh, we want to talk about this love story between the two of y'all. She was like, it ain't no love story, it's a tragic end. And she walks off. So I guess that's the end of Harper and Tate. And again, nobody even cares anymore. Brayden goes to see Kiki, right? Well, Brayden goes to the office, and Kiki is there packing up the last of her stuff. Now, Brayden tells Kiki, you don't have to leave now. My uncle's gone. Like, I vouched for you. I cleared you. She said, yeah, but I can't live with myself. The fact that I was even a part of that whole Ponzi scheme to begin with is really making me have to question some things, and I need to regroup myself. She said, but let me ask you something, Brayden. I knew your uncle. And I knew that suicide note is nothing that he would have written. Like, that's not even how he talks. She said, so what did you do? And Brayden was like, listen, I did what needed to be done. Don't you worry about what I did. He never really came right out and admitted it, but he said enough that she knew that he was the one that did it. Okay? Now, personally, if I'm in the writing room, Kiki is going to help them find that money. Because the uncle has the money somewhere. I mean, he may not have all 100% because I'm sure he was spending. But trust and believe that he has squirreled away millions of dollars that will at least help them make some of these people whole, i.e. the Tejadas, i.e. Tariq. Okay, we don't know what Tariq's trust fund was, but I'm sure that the uncle's money that he was stealing, I'm sure they could get some of it back. But okay, that again, if you use my idea, I just need some credit in the monetary fund. Okay, I need credit in the monetary kind. That's what I need. Okay, so Lauren goes before the grand jury, baby, and Lauren does not. She testifies. She makes it seem like Jenny made her tell it, that Jenny coerced her, that Jenny threatened her by, not letting her see her family, and she was in the hospital and all these things. Which, of course, Jenny, as on the verge of getting ready to lose her job, and the person over the whole kit and caboodle said, it's a wrap, shut it down, we're done. We're done with the Rico. We're done with this whole situation. We've had too many setbacks, and this whole thing was sitting on Lauren's shoulders. Lauren has now decided that she is not going to cooperate. Whether she's telling the truth or lying, it doesn't matter. We are done. So that whole situation is a wrap. Lauren, we see Lauren walking off into the sunset with her parents' child, so we don't know if or when we'll see Lauren ass again. Tariq is down at the police station, at the jail to pick up Effie because the charges are dropped because they ran out of time to charge her, right? So the charges are dropped. She makes good on her word, and she gives Tariq the information on Noma's daughter. Come to find out, she was at NYC right there in New York with all of them. And again, Tariq could have alleviated some of his issues had he just played nice. Because Effie's like, so what's up with us? Like, am I back in the business? And Tariq was like, hell no. Like, our business is done. Like, I kept my word. I got you out. You kept your word. We're good. And she was like, so what are you talking about? Like, you lied to me too. I lied to you. Like, we both did dirt to each other. And at the end of the day, I did what was supposed to be done. I did what needed to be done. Tariq was like, well, listen, it is what it is. Get in the car, I'll give you a ride. I'll give you a ride back to your dorm. And she started walking. He was like, where you going? He was like, she said, I'm gonna do what I always do. I'm gonna figure it out. So we see her walking off into the sunset, child. So next we see Tariq and Brayden trying to figure out their next move, right? Brayden tells Tariq he out. He said, listen, I'm not made for this. You talking about doing more killings, and I just killed my uncle. I'm not even over that, okay? I can't do this. And he tells Tariq he's out. Tariq tells him to man up, and he said, man up, whatever. I'm out. I'm done. I'm good. So then Tariq is back at his dorm room, and here come Diana with her puppy dog eyes, and she's like, I need to get out. Monet will never let me leave. Monet wants to kill you. Monet wants to da-da-da-da-da. And she convinces Tariq to be a part of this scheme to set Monet up to shoot Monet, right? Now, Monet falls for it, right? Instead, Diana finally returns Monet's call. Tell her we're going to go to the penthouse because me, her, and Drew need to talk. Now, instead of her driving herself, she lets Diana pick her up, and they get in the car. Next thing you know, Tariq was supposed to shoot them while, he was supposed to wait until he had a clear shot, whatever. But next thing you know, just as Tariq is putting on his ski mask and getting ready to do the deal, somebody else pulls up and starts shooting at them, right? Monet gets hit. Because Kane was in the house. So Kane comes out and he shoots at the car. Monet gets hit. And Diana is, she doesn't get hit or whatever. Monet ends up in critical condition. They asked Diana who did it. Diana said it was Tariq. So they done set Tariq up. So now you got Drew and you got Kane coming for Tariq. Now we've come to find out that Drew and Diana manipulated and set this whole thing up. Drew was in on the plan to begin with. Now Kane is not. But Drew was in on the plan to begin with to get rid of Monet. Now, I think that Diana is the mastermind because that's also when we find out that Diana dropped off the letter to Tommy's mama. So then, Tariq meets up with Tasha because he saw it was Tasha that was the one that actually shot Monet. So somehow they met up and he's telling Tasha everything that's gone down. He even tells Tasha he lost the trust fund, so that's why he don't even have nothing to lose no more. He don't have no reason to be at school. He ain't got nothing to lose. He ain't got no money. He got to do what he had to do to get from Noma, get up from Monet, whatever. She tells him to be careful because this sounds like a whole situation that ain't going to work out in his favor. And so she says, listen, you got to be very careful, son. Okay, you got to be very, very careful. And he says, Mama, I got this. I got this, Mama. I got it. Whatever. So, next thing you know, Tariq decides that it's a good idea for him to go see Noma and convince Noma to let him back in the business. He thinks he's got this ace card with knowing where Noma's daughter is. So but before I finish that up, because that was like the last part of the episode, we see that a jump drive was delivered to Junior via Angela's sister. What's her name? I forget her name, but Angela's sister. So, again, I came from Saks. So, who knows what's on this jump drive? That's going to carry us into next season. We'll see what Junior does with it. We'll see how Junior, I'm sure he's going to be on a vendetta. I guess he's going to be the new Saks, okay? I don't know. So, down to the warehouse, Tariq shows up. And, again, He thinks that he's got all this great leverage against Noma. He tries to manipulate himself back into the business. And Noma was like, nah, I'm good. Like, me and Monet, even though Monet is, you know, because he was like, well, she's incapacitated right now. You need me, whatever. And she was like, no, I've already had a conversation. And here come Diana and Drew and Kane. And now he knows that now he knows he was set up, right? He's like, okay, they done set me up. So that's when he plays his trump card with knowing where her daughter is, and she just starts laughing. He's like, what's so funny? Well, then here come Effie out of the shadows and was like, yeah, I already told her you were coming for her daughter. And she was like, yeah, so I've moved my daughter somewhere safe. So, you know, basically you have no leverage, and you have no allies, and you are no good to me. So then next thing you know, everybody pulls their gun. Tariq is about to get shot. Somebody starts shooting from nowhere. It's Brayden. He didn't come to save Tariq. The two of them shoot their way out of the warehouse. I think Kane got hit, but y'all know Kane ain't going nowhere, child. Kane ain't going nowhere. And that's where the episode and season ends, with Tariq and Brayden riding off into the sunset, basically like, oh shit. Let me know what y'all think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.